This is going to be a quick overview of the Hypeye D Pro. Quick background on me, I shoot a lot of outside video for team work. I use primarily Sony cameras. So this product I've used, I don't know, I've probably got around 1,000 jumps on these, and I've used them pretty extensively. So pretty comfortable with it. Definitely a product that I really love and really recommend. Inside the box you get a couple things. You get a couple twist ties, and looks like some nylon screws in there. You got the manual, which you should really spend a little bit of time with. This thing does a lot more than I think most people realize it can do, or a lot more than how most of the videographers, including myself, actually use it. But some really good stuff in there. I'll get back to that here in a minute. And then the actual unit itself. And the unit, from a design standpoint, is really simple to use. You've got your LED, which is your indicator light. You've got your control unit, which has a single button on it, and also a port on the side that we'll get into in a little bit on how that can be used. And then your half moon plug. So these are designed to go along with Sony CX cameras. There's one version that does the newer cameras. I think it's after 2010, and the other before. Mine is a CX150, so this camera has the 2010 and before model. So how this thing's actually used, as you see, in this setup that I've got a CX150 that's inside a cookie cage, and also mounted on a flat lock plate. So it's kind of in there securely. It's not easy for me to get to it. The on button is back here. You can't really see it. You can't really get to it. So I need a way to do a couple things. I need to be able to turn it off and on, and also more importantly, I need to have the confidence that I know that it's running and recording when I need it to be running and recording. So the way we accomplish that with the Hypeye, take your half moon connector, plug it in. If you push the button in the center one time, it should turn it on and go to a blue standby. It'll stay on blue and standby until something changes. Make a change, push that button again. Bingo, now you're recording. I don't know if the camera really shows up, but that's a really bright light. It's really easy to see even in solid daylight. Push it again, you're back to standby, you're no longer recording. You can also turn the unit off by pushing it and holding it. It'll flash a couple times and it's off. You might have noticed when it flashed, there's some other LEDs in there as well. I think there's 3 colors. And you can use those other colors than your blue and red to tell you if there's a problem. So if you're out of tape, or I guess we don't use tape anymore, but if you're out of memory, or you're low on battery, or for whatever reason, I had it one time give me an error code when I had a problem with my card. There's a formatting problem with the card, or the card failed. So it'll tell you if it's not able to record, or if it's got a problem based on those lights too. So that's the the basic design. From a value standpoint, I would say this thing is really valuable in a couple ways. It's not super cheap. It's at the time of this recording, it's about $100 for most of these things. Depending on when you got your camera and which camera you got, these Sonys will run anywhere from, on the cheap side, around $200 right now, to some of the really cool ones with the Boss stabilization and whatnot. You can spend over $1,000. So depending on which one you buy, by percentage, it might be a lot compared to the actual camera. But I tell you what, there's nothing like that peace of mind of knowing that you are on and you are recording, especially when you're talking about doing a paid jump for a tandem or an AFF or a student or something like that. Or for me, it's for competition, making sure that I know that my cameras are rolling and I'm not worried at all that I just cost a round for my team. So the value, I'd say it's not super cheap, but you do get a quality product and something that's really irreplaceable. Not having to look at your camera, not have to have somebody else confirm that the red light's on, and be able to have your cameras in really tight boxes like this is really cool. So I'd say the value is high on the camera, or I'd say the value is high on the Hypeye. It's been extremely reliable for me. The one that I've got on my current camera, or my helmet setup right now, this guy's been on here for, man, this one's probably got 500 or 600 jumps on it. Works like a champ. Thousands of activations. I've got my it's kind of hard to see there, I guess, but there's where my indicators run on this camera, and it's been very, very reliable for me. And the other great thing is, if you have any problems with these, The service that I've received over the years through Hypoxic has been incredible. I had one of my indicators had a little problem probably 2 years ago. I just didn't have a good light on it, and sent them an email real quick, and they sent me a replacement free of charge within, I think, 2 days. So service is great. They definitely stand behind their product. It's also a skydiving company, and a skydiving company that does some really cool stuff for us. I think it's neat to be able to support companies like Hypoxic when you have guys like Trunk who are out there testing out all the new cameras, the new products, building things like this to help us control it, doing reviews, figuring out what will work for us, what won't. So I definitely think it's cool to be able to support guys like that. As far as size and weight goes, the unit itself is about 1.5 inches in diameter on the main control unit. It's about 3/4 of an inch from top to bottom, and there's this little recess and this lip here, so if you do choose to mount it like I do, you can either go totally flush with it or give it a little bit of a pop-up, however you want to do it. I believe the cable is 500 millimeters according to what the package said, but just eyeballing it, I'd say it's about 18 inches for the plug, and probably at least a foot, maybe a little bit over for the LCD. Again, this is one of those things that reading the freaking manual can help you out on. Most of us, including myself, I think really use this thing primarily for turning a unit on, going to standby, record and back, but it is really customizable. You can change the brightness on it, you can have it so that it controls the zoom on your camera and goes to some presets there. You can use this little port on the side, you can pop that guy out, this little cover out, and you can use that to get video and audio out, so you can actually use it to debrief or plug right into this and control the camera and be able to watch footage. I've only done that once or twice. I typically isn't something I use in my workflow, but it is a neat feature for a lot of folks. But overall, it's a great product, something I've used for a long time. I don't know how you can really be serious about doing outside video with one of these CX cameras and not really consider one of these, especially if you're using a cookie box or a bonehead box. Either one, it really makes your life a lot easier, definitely better for what you're trying to do. So overall, love these things. They're great. If you have a CX camera, you should really think about getting one.